Okay, back here in South Plainfield, New Jersey. Crazy time along with JJ. James Josephson here as Lehigh Valley Storm and the Central Jersey Vikings are about ready to start the second half in a 7-7 game. Storm will be kicking off to the Vikings to begin the second half. We'll give you a recap of what has happened in just a couple of minutes. Looks like Appleman will be kicking it off. And Shannon Adams is back there for the Wolves. And needless to say, the Storm, they really starting to fire things up. They really want to get things cooking here. As the referee is about to blow his whistle, approaching the tee is Appleman. We're underway for the second half. High end over Renna. It's going to go in and out of the end zone. And I ain't going to bother bringing it out. It's going to be a touchback. So the Vikings will begin from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's a great kick by number 47, Bobby Appleman. But just to think about the mindset that the Storm have going into the second half, they're definitely going to look to have a better start than they did in the beginning of this football game.
Indeed. Just to recap what's happened, on the first play from scrimmage for the Vikings, Cedric Brown had a 96-yard touchdown run, which came off after the Storm on their opening drive of the game turned the ball over on downs. And then Yusuf Reddick, off a deflection by Jaron Elder, returned a punt 70 yards for a score. That is where it's happened here, as we are at 7-7 right now here in the second half. We're about ready to get underway. Of course, as I mentioned, Cedric Brown has been the star of this game. He's obviously run for over 120 yards, but the big question here is, how will the Storm continue stopping him in the second half? We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Muse is back under center, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line after the touchback. I formation and a left side jumps. That should be a false start against the Vikings, so they'll have to row themselves back 5 yards. So already, Vikings off to a very inauspicious start here, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Yeah, after a great first half for the Vikings, they have to come out and pretty much do exactly what they did in the first half, and that's play great defense and try and shut down number 10, Jim Lee Hugh, and just get back to the running game with number 4, Cedric Brown.
It'll be 1st and 15 now from the 15-yard line, as once again it'll be Muse who will hand it off, and that'll be Brown, and Brown will nosedive his way down to about the 19-yard line before Orrin Marshman brings him down for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, the Marshman, leader of this defense, really has to get his guys and his troops fired up. He had that great game against the Wolves, and they all these guys really look up to him, so he's going to look to rally the troops for the second half.
And that's going to be very big here, as it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 19-yard line, as Muse will be going on a play here. And of course, one of the big things that happened here in this game is, we're just going to say, the Vikings have been trying to shorten this game. And although they have not been on the field as much as the Storm have, they have been effective in some plays, except that the Storm have been able to adjust their defense to the Vikings' moves. And here on 2nd down and 11, here's a handoff again to Brown. Brown tries to move the pile, but does not get too far. He'll get to about the we'll say, 22-yard line. A pickup of 3 before Keenan Walls brings him down.
Yeah, good play inside. Just a couple guys wrapping up. They're really running the ball, and they're not doing it as well as they were before, but a key to putting together drives is to keep this Storm offense off the field. So that's also a big part of their game plan that they were talking about coming into tonight.
Okay, so it'll be 3rd and 8 now. Ball will be spotted at the 22-yard line. And once again, the Vikings taking their time in the huddle here. Just a reminder, of course, Pepsi, the proud sponsor of Lehigh Valley Storm football. Pepsi, live for now. 3rd and 8 for the Vikings at their own 22-yard line. This is going to be a big moment here for Muse and company, as they will kind of spread things out. 3 wide slot to the left side here, and in between split backs, a shotgun. Muse waiting for the snap. Takes it, goes back, has time, now under a rush. He's going to run to his right. Let's see if he keeps taking off. He will, but not for much. In fact, he is brought down to 20-yard line by Mike Kuzer. Kuzer stops him for a 2-yard loss, and the Storm do the job, forcing the Vikings to go 3 and out.
Just the start they wanted for the second half. Great play by outside linebacker number 44, Mike Kuzer, and just breaking down and making a tackle in the open field on a very shifty quarterback for the Vikings, number 1, Opie Muse.
Oh my goodness, that was huge what happened just now. And we're going to see how 4th down goes, as Muse will punt this thing out here. And once again, Yusuf Reddick, who is responsible for all the Storm points, he's now trying to move everybody as he is standing at about the midfield stripe and now going backward. Here's a snap, and a punt goes way over to the left, and no chance for a return here, so it'll jump out of bounds at the Storm 47-yard line. So looks to be a 31-yard punt, no return, but a Storm at least in decent field position, starting with 1st and 10 for their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, great stop by the Storm defense, and Lehigh Valley Storm offense is going to come out led by Jimmy Lehigh and try and get something going. I'm going to look forward to Lehigh trying to open it up a little bit more in the passing game and hitting his favorite receiver, Devon Gordon, who the Vikings have done a great job of shutting down so far in the first half.
Okay, so it'll be 1st and 10 now. The Storm will be at their own 47-yard line. Be interested to see how everything plays out here. Jimmy Lehigh, of course, he's had a couple of good completions, but he has been denied a touchdown twice in his first half because of holding penalties, and in either case, nothing has come out of him. So 1st and 10 for the 47-yard line. Lehigh with the snap. They hand it off to Ridley, who's back in the game. Ridley able to maybe get to the line of scrimmage and possibly a yard more, but that's about it, as the Viking defense stops him cold at the 48-yard line.
It's good to see Ridley back in this game. He definitely looked real shaken up before, but they just tried to give him another draw there. And this defensive line, big number 90 and 57, and Meet Das, who I had on my show on Thursday night, they're really doing a great job holding their ground.
And again, Parker Canty and Everett Donaldson on the stop there, 2nd and about 9 from about the 48-yard line. Lehigh in the shotgun between split backs, 3 wide, slot to the left this time. They're going to hand it off to Ridley. Crossing midfield, has a hole, look out! To the 40, to the 30, to the 20, may outrun, he stops, stutters, he misses a tackle to the 10, to 5, and he's in! Payback! Welcome to the end zone! And are you sure there are no flags down this time? Raheem Ridley, bum shoulder, and all says, forget the shoulder, I'm taking it. 51 yards, and the Storm have their first lead of the night.
Offensive line really stepped up there. They got on the linebackers. Number 99, Parker Canty, was picked up by the right guard, and Raheem Ridley just found the hole, and he hit it, and he took off and got into the end zone. One was taken away from him in the first quarter, and he said, I wanted to get back, and he just did.
Well, what shall be given shall be taken away. Well, Flip Modi, you took it away from me, I'm taking it right back. That's exactly what Ridley said there. A 51-yard touchdown run, and boy, that is a huge turning point in this game as Eppleman will try the extra point. A low snap, but the kick is on its way and down the pike and good. And the early part of third quarter, the Lehigh Valley Storm have shown up. They take a 14-7 lead over the Central Jersey Vikings.
And that looks just like the Lehigh Valley Storm football team that we know about. The defense coming out, making a stop, the offense getting the ball and going right down the field and scoring. So maybe they were rusty in the first half, but they're definitely real excited to put together that drive after a big stop by the defense to start this third quarter.
And Kohler and LaMagna probably kind of like read them the riot act and then some. And what do you know, 2 plays in, and voila, the Storm have the lead again. Usually it's in the air, but this time Ridley decides to take it himself. So that is a huge play, and the Storm right now with that 14-7 lead. So right now, what the Storm wanted to have was get the momentum back. They did, of course, beginning with that Reddick touchdown on the punt return. Kind of lost on the missed field goal at the end of the half. They have it right back now. You can see the special teams just firing things up here as we are early on the third quarter. And referee have had to blow his whistle, and Eppleman will be kicking this thing off once again. Shannon Adams back there for the Vikings, and the kickoff will be taken by the other upman, who will grab it at about the 10, run near side, crashes into a guy, gets slowed up to the 15, 20, 25, 27-yard line. I looked like he had fallen down, then the play still continued, but nonetheless a decent return for the Vikings, and they will have 1st and 10 from the 27. And now Opie Muse out of South Plainfield. Let's see what he can do. We got a flag down late
real
again late. It's like, okay,
but I don't think it's on the play. I think it's after the play something happened. Could be Isaiah Green.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Storm.
Yep.
What did Isaiah Green do?
I saw him chirping a little bit. I don't know what happened, but that's definitely what it was.
That's how you take momentum away from your own team, kind of not using your head and things like this. I know this is an emotional game, but you can't be making these mistakes, especially when you have the momentum back. You just got the lead. You just can't make a penalty like that. The ball's going to be spotted at the midfield stripe. I guess he returned one to the 35, and now 15-yard penalty on top of that.
Yeah, and kickoff team ran down and made a great play, and obviously you need to have your mindset right, and that's not the 15-yard penalty that the Storm were looking for. So the Vikings are going to look to capitalize on a dumb mistake.
Well, we'll just see how this plays out here as it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings now at the midfield stripe. In the shotgun formation is Muse between split backs, 2 receivers to the right. Muse will hand it off to Brown. Brown is able to get into Storm territory at about the 47, 48 yard lines, at least a 2-yard gain. And it'll be 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, the adjustments that the Storm made after that first carry for 96 yards obviously have been working. He's a great running back, and he's picking up a ton of yards, but the Storm interior guys and defensive line are really doing a good job keeping that running back in check.
All right, so it'll be 2nd and 8 now from the 48-yard line. The Lehigh Valley Storm, a 14-7 lead over the Central Jersey Vikings. All 3 touchdowns have been of 50 yards or more. 2 on rushing, 1 on special teams. Let's see what Muse does here as he will line his folks up. And Cedric Brown lines up to the right of Muse. They're going to go 4 receivers, 2 on each side this time. A high snap taken by Muse. He's got the run, and then fade play and a pass incomplete. That was in a lot of traffic. Kashmir Flood was in coverage. The ball was intended for Parrish, but he couldn't quite come away with it. The bobbled snap proved costly for timing, and now it's 3rd and 8. Now the Vikings are kind of with their backs against the wall here.
Yeah, and down in this football game, they might have to pass a little bit more, and being that your feature player is your running back and they love to run, that might cause some problems, but they're going to see what's going to happen. Obviously that shotgun snap was a little high, so that could be the beginning of a couple problems that are going to come later in this game.
3rd and 8 for the Vikings at the Storm 48-yard line. Using the shotgun. Cedric Brown to the right. Again, 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Muse waiting for the snap, takes it, hand off to Brown, and it didn't work. It didn't work. He loses 2. Chris Medina, Joe Davis, Mike Kuzer, all coming in on the stop. They made sure they kind of smelled the run, and voila, they smelled roses there. They're going to get the ball back as the Vikings led the punt.
Yeah, and the run-heavy football team, they obviously want to give it to number 4, their best player, and this Storm defense knew who was getting the ball, and the linebackers just keyed him, and that was a great play by number 44, Mike Kuzer out there, and a huge stop on 3rd down.
So now 4th down here as Muse will be, I think, punting after a 2-yard loss. It's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. He's punted already the last few times, but right now looks to be a pretty critical point of this game as we're approaching the midway part of the 3rd quarter. It is 14-7 Lehigh Valley Storm over the Central Jersey Vikings. I have a feeling that we could be seeing a very important play. As a matter of fact, the Vikings are going for it. They're going to line up 4 receivers, 2 on each side once again. Single setback, Cedric Brown. Here's the snap. Back goes Muse. He's under a rush. Has to run to his right. He's going to try and make a play out of it. He's still running. And is tackled down! Trying to escape at the 45-yard line. He loses 5. Guess who? Joe Davis, who nearly gets decapitated on a hip bump by Yusuf Reddick. And I think Davis nearly went down on that. Needless to say, the Storm get the ball back on downs.
Yeah, that was a great play. The athleticism showed for number 6, Joe Davis right there, and he wasn't letting the quarterback pick up a 1st down. He just tucked it. He actually ran outside of number 50, Carl Kreider, and got the edge, but Joe Davis said, I don't think so.
I think that was more than an I don't think so. That was no way, Jose. Or in this case, no way, Mr. Muse. So the Storm, after another 4 4-yard loss. Boy, this is a completely different team compared to the one we saw in the first half who hadn't played in about a month. Now they seem to almost be back to their old selves. You have to remember, after this game, next week it's the Longhorns and then the Bravehearts. And they have higher standings technically than the Central Jersey Vikings in their division. So that's where you got to really be on your game here in these last 3 weeks. 1st and 10 for the 46-yard line for Lehigh. Takes a snap. Forget it. We got flags. Somebody either moved or they took too much time.
Should be on the left defensive end.
Or did the, neutral zone infraction against the Vikings. So left side of the line jumped, and that's going to give the Storm 5 more yards. And right now, the Vikings are starting to crumble in the mistake department.
Yeah, mentally, you see a couple guys on the sideline now screaming, trying to get that juice going again. The first half, this team, they did everything right. They forced 4 fumbles, and whatever the case may be, they always stepped up to the occasion. So you want to see them get their head on right and finish out the game.
I think they're doing that right now. That didn't get all right. Anyway, 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line for Jimmy Lehigh in the shotgun. 1st and 5, rather, I'm sorry. They will take the snap, and here is Mayers, who has a hole crossing the 35, down to the 33. The ball popped out, but I think a whistle blew. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the officials are going to decide, but I think the ball was blown dead. And I believe it is going to still be Storm ball. Mayers is going to have a first down at the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8. The Vikings thought they had it, but a whistle kind of blew the play dead. So the Storm, I believe, will keep the ball, and they're going to spot it that way. They just want to have a confirmation. The officials already signaled first down in the direction of the Storm.
I mean, with a great coaching staff, this defense really knows how to rip that ball out. That's the 5th time in this football game, and it's only the 3rd quarter that the ball has held the turf. It could have been a couple weeks off, but ball security is something that they have to work on for following games coming up.
1st and 10 now for the Storm. They'll spot it about the 33-yard line. Lehigh will take the snap. He will go back and pass. He's going to throw it deep on right side. He's got Jaleel Clark, and he finally catches it! Welcome to the end zone! Jaleel Clark! I'm making sure there are no flags down again, and there are not. The Storm have made it a 2-touchdown lead over the Vikings.
Yep, no holding call. Going to call it back right now, and that was the best throw of the game so far by Lehigh. And Jaleel Clark beat his corner back, and great throw and a great catch for a Storm touchdown.
I'll tell you what, that was mighty huge there, because the Lehigh Valley Storm obviously looked like a different club compared to this first half where they had no idea where they were going. Now they have come to absolute life. So Bobby Eppelman will try the extra point here. Of course, I think it's Fick that will hold it. Here's the snap, the kick on its way. It is down the pike and good. And here in the 3rd quarter, a Storm of a different kind has hit South Plainfield as the Lehigh Valley Storm now hold a 21-7 lead over the Central Jersey Vikings.
And that's exactly what the Storm needed to do right there. They've been running. Obviously, once again, they lucked out because Myers fumbled the ball again, but they've been lucky recovering their own fumbles in this football game. They just came back with a play-action pass and hit number 9 deep in the end zone. That was a great pass by Lehigh, and momentum is definitely on the side of the Storm.
And certainly is, and definitely on the right side of the Storm at this point in time. So 21-7 to score. The Lehigh Valley Storm right now, they look like they have things in control, and I really think they need to make one more stop to make sure they put this game away. But remember, there's still about a quarter and a half of football to go, so who knows what's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. There's a ton of time left in this football game, so if they get real fired up and start to make some nice plays, that they're going to try and get back into this football game, but it's going to be hard knowing that you're a run-heavy team.
All right, so Bobby Eppelman will try and kick this thing off yet again. Well, at least that's the shortest touchdown we've had of 4 so far. A 33-yard touchdown strike from Jimmy Lehigh to Jaleel Clark. As here's the kickoff, and it's taken high and then over end. Chan Adams will take it to goal line. He'll move straight ahead, crossing the 10. Breaks a tackle, goes to the 20. Stutter steps 25, and gets held short at about the 30-yard line as whistles of numerous pitch levels and notes and stuff like that. I don't know what that, I mean, they're using whistles, they're using toots, they might be using foghorns next, but nonetheless, the play was stopped at about the 28, and that's where the Vikings will have it 1st and 10.
Yeah, another good job on the kickoff team for the Lehigh Valley Storm, but once again, a little extracurricular activity after, and you have to make sure that you keep your head on right and just play smart football.
That's very true. You really have to be careful in a situation like this because this is where tempers can really flare. And remember, when it comes to semi-pro leagues, tempers can flare very, very easily, especially when there's a lot on the line. When you're playing for really the love of the game, sometimes the trade-off is you have more skirmishes like you see here. But right now, the Vikings have a very critical drive here to keep themselves afloat. Again, they trail 21-7 to the Lehigh Valley Storm. 1st and 10 as Muse is in the shotgun between two split backs, takes the snap, will hand it off to Brown. Brown will move to about the 30 and then basically got Chris Benoit suplex back a yard, but still a 2-yard gain regardless of how that turned out.
Yeah, the Storm are just stacking in the box. They know that they're going to be running the ball, so if the Vikings want to win this football game, they're really going to have to open it up and start going to the passing game.
And I'll remind everybody once again, I thank everyone listening here on the stream feed, of course, audioly, courtesy of lvstormfootball.com and hot101.net, the Storm radio crew. Of course, thank you all for joining us with that. And, of course, go to lvstormfootball.com for the latest stuff on the Lehigh Valley Storm. We keep things updated, so make sure you keep visiting us for what's coming next. 2nd and about 8 from the 30-yard line as Muse is in the shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Muse waiting here, and now, that might be an illegal snap. People started moving, and then the snap came about, so that might be a false start against the Vikings because people moved, then the snap. That's, I think, an illegal snap.
Yeah, it could be a snap infraction, but regardless, they're moving back 5 yards and moving in the wrong direction.
And indeed a false start against the Vikings, so that moves them back 5 to the 25. So 2nd and 13 now. And right now, the Vikings are in a bit of a pickle. You have Cedric Brown, who has had a very big game on the ground, especially with 96 yards coming on that first chunk. But since then, the Storm have done a very nice job shutting things down. So now this run-heavy team might be shifting back to the pass. Don't forget, Muse has not completed a pass yet today. So something else you really have to consider here. All right, 2nd and 13 for the 25-yard line as Muse is in the shotgun, and he ended up going backward after he got set. That's going to be another false start. So the Vikings suddenly are crumbling at the seams here, and they're going to have to lose another 5 yards. So basically the equivalent of hold.
That's obviously not helping out the quarterback, who, you just mentioned it, and I did just realize it, hasn't completed a pass yet today. So that's back-to-back false start penalties, and not looking too good right now for this Viking offense.
You said that right. And now, like I said, going back to the pass, and that's usually not their strength, and all they've been doing is throwing some deep balls around. They haven't really connected yet. 2nd and 18 from the 20 from using the shotgun, takes a high snap. Now he's back. He's under a rush, being chased. He tries to get a tackle, cannot! Joe Davis stopped them cold. So, and also Keenan Walls was there. Don't forget about Bolden. He was in the area. They are going the wrong way, folks. And the Vikings right now have a 3rd and I have no idea how long.
Yeah, that was a great blitz call from the sideline of the Storm coaching staff. And Paul Bolden actually got held on the play, but they didn't call it, and he got right through. And a couple guys, Kreider, Keenan Walls, all were right there. So they know a struggling quarterback, if you're sending a blitz on them, obviously that's not going to help them out either. And they got there for a big sack.
Indeed. So now 3rd and they're going to spot the ball, I believe, at the 18, so it's only a loss of 2. But still, it's 3rd and 20. Down 21-7 after a great start in this game. The Vikings really in a very critical point in this game. They're going to have to figure out some play to get by a very fired-up Lehigh Valley Storm defense. Or Marshman trying to put his troops in the right spot. Here comes a blitz on 3rd and 20. They decide to bail and hand off to Brown. Brown will cross the 20 to the 24 for a gain of 6, but not even close to a first down. They're still 14 yards shy, and I'm guessing the Vikings let the punt yet again.
Yeah, it looks like not too many plays to call there on third and long. They said that they're just going to swallow that possession and maybe try to make a big play on defense. But this Viking offense really hasn't clicked too well in this quarter.
Indeed. I mean, I think since the second quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to think about that because they still have yet to complete a pass. All their yards have been on the run.
Yeah.
And Yusuf Reddick is now standing at the 40-yard line waiting for another Muse punt. Remember, he returned a punt 70 yards for a touchdown. Very high snap. Here comes a rush. And they're going to have to throw on a fake. And it is dropped! They went throwing on a fake and the punter couldn't complete that pass. Boy, the rush was coming. They tried the fake and it completely backfired. Muse threw on the right sideline. I don't know if it would have been enough for a first down anyway. But the receiver drops the ball. The Storm will get it back up 21-7 and phenomenal field position.
A couple sponsors for tonight's game are Pepsi, A&H Sporting Goods, Scott Family of Dealership, Scott Lott, Scott Chevrolet, Scott Mazda, and Scott Volvo. Also, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, celebrating 50 years of excellence. State Farm Insurance, located in Mayes, Pennsylvania. Ride with the #1 car insurer in Pennsylvania. And going back to the game right now, that was a huge drop. They took a risk there that didn't pay off for the Vikings.
Boy, did it not pay off. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. As Lehigh, he might go for the one play and everything here, as he did twice in the game against the Wolves. Back goes Lehigh. He's looking, going right. You bet he's going long. And a pass caught by Reich. He escapes a tackle, goes to the 10, and down to about the 5-yard line. Wasn't quite go for broke, but he's able to get 21 yards, and it is 1st and goal for the Stormers. Are back in the red zone yet again.
Like you mentioned in the first quarter, they're really double-teaming Devon Gordon and trying to take him out of this game, so you need the other guys to step up, and that's exactly what number 11, Yusuf Reddick, has done so far tonight.
All right, so 1st and goal, and I think we may be switching sides for the third quarter. So, yes indeed, we're going to 3-quarter time here in South Plainfield. After 3, in the Lehigh Valley Storm establishing control. They lead the Central Jersey Vikings by a score of 21-7. I thought you were going to cue yourself in here.
Oh, yeah, I don't...
That's all right. You want me to do a Geico spot since we have 15 minutes left in the game?
Yeah, let me hear your Geico spot.
No. Our owner didn't quite pay anything for that.
Not a paying customer.
Hey, you gotta have some fun on here, but in any case, just to recap what's been going on through 3 quarters, of course, it began very unceremoniously for the Storm, who had a touchdown by Raheem Ridley, got called back, and of course, the Storm could not get the ball in the end zone from the Viking 4. They turned the ball over on downs. 1 play later, Cedric Brown runs at 96 yards for a score. Vikings had a 7-0 lead for a little while, but then the real turning point of the game was when Muse punted. A deflection of a Jaron Elder went to the hands of Yusuf Reddick at full speed. He runs at 70 yards for a touchdown. Tied the game at 7. We'll get to the rest of the third quarter in a moment, as it is 1st and goal for the Storm at the Vikings 5-yard line. Storm trying to put this one away. Single setback in the Pistolero is a Sean Mayers. They line up in a bunch formation on the left. They hand it to Mayers on a pitch. He toes one way, goes the other. I don't think it's working, folks. He ends up losing about 5 yards to about the 10. It may even be more than that. Mayers, and they're going to say he gets spotted about the 16. Wow. Not a good decision by Mayers. He loses 11.
Yeah, he got swallowed up there. They tried to run toss that way, and there was about 6 guys waiting for him. So a loss for the Storm.
Definitely 2nd and goal now from the 16-yard line. That's a little bit of a tough break here, so let's see what the Storm decide to do here. Mayers will line up behind Lehigh. Again, a bunch formation on the right. Back goes Lehigh. He's going to look right, looking. Now he's going to take off to the left. Let's see what he does. He will try and slant over. Gets to the 15, out of bounds at about the 10. So Lehigh able to get 6 of those yards back, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10.
One thing that he's done real good tonight, obviously all his passes have not been on target, and you could say it's been a little bit of rust, but he's made smart decisions. He hasn't thrown that interception yet, and if anyone's if no one is open, he really has done a great job of just tucking it or checking down to complete the pass.
All right, it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line, and we'll see if Lehigh has a play. And you know what? This may not be a bad time for the Storm to take a timeout to discuss what to do, but I'm not sure if they're going to do it. So they're going to line up traditional 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Mayers to the left of Lehigh. In the shotgun, takes a snap, Lehigh. A quick throw, pass caught, Reddick slips out of town to the 10-5. He walks in! Welcome to the end zone! Soldier boy! Yusuf Reddick comes through with a 10-yard touchdown. Yeah, I did that earlier before. We had to say it again here. 1 on special teams, 1 on the receiving end. Lehigh gets his 2nd touchdown pass as the Storm now make it a 3-touchdown lead.
Huge game tonight for number 11, Yusuf Reddick, on special teams and on offense. He's been all over the field, and it's what was expected. Like I just mentioned before, 84 Devon Gordon, they're trying to take him out of the game, and Yusuf Reddick pretty much said, okay, that's fine with me, and he's found the end zone now twice tonight.
Yes, indeed. Jaleel Clark with the other touchdown reception. Now is the key, having those 2 receivers stepped up, and indeed they have so far. Eppelman to try the extra point. Ground ball snap. This is not the Giants Nationals, but he's going to try and run it in, and he will not make it. It'll be about 3 yards short. So the extra point does not go, and it ends up being 27-7. The Lehigh Valley Storm right now in control over the Central Jersey Vikings.
The Lehigh Valley Storm had a great 3rd quarter overall, and then they're to start off the 4th quarter, just found Yusuf Reddick there, and they really, like we mentioned before the game, came out and once the second half came, they were going to run away with it, and that's pretty much what they're doing right now.
Well, just to recap what happened in the second half after the Vikings had the punt on their first possession, it only took 2 plays where Raheem Ridley, who was injured in the second quarter, kind of hurt his shoulder a bit. He comes back, and 2 plays in, runs a 51-yard touchdown. That gave the Storm the lead pretty much to stay at that point. Vikings again had to punt, but then once again Lehigh drives down the field. There was a 29-yard touchdown pass to Jaleel Clark. That made it 21-7, and just now Lehigh finds Yusuf Reddick for a 10-yard score. That makes it 27-7. Of course, with the extra point being fumbled, they couldn't get the conversion to go in. So the Storm leading by 20. I think right now Bob Kohler can kind of breathe a little bit, but there's still time left in this game. Don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. There's time left in this game, but the Storm are really running away with it, and pretty much what I expected. But you have to focus on one play at a time, so it's time for the kickoff team to go down and make a tackle.
And we'll see what they do as Eppelman will be kicking it off. And once again, Chad Adams back for the Vikings, along with Justin Salazar, who I forgot to mention also was doing some stuff there too. Now here's the kickoff, and I think Salazar might take it. It's a live ball. It bounces into Salazar at about the 10. He's going to run up the middle to about the 20 and crashes head on at about the 20-yard line. And it just seemed to be that Justin Thomas was the one that crashed into him right at that 20-yard line. So once again, deep in their own territory, that's where the Vikings will start.
Yeah, the kickoff team has done a great job all day, and I was just thinking this defense also has played a great game also. If you take away that one run for 96 yards, they really buckled down after the first play of the game, and they're playing like the Storm defense that we've seen all season.
All right, so right now, quarterback Opie Muse, who unfortunately has not completed a pass today, and we're in the 4th quarter right now, he's going to be faced with a situation down 20. The Vikings, who were really fired up, and then, of course, the second quarter, the air started to go out a little bit, and then Raheem Ridley said, I'm going to let the rest of the air out of the balloon with that 51-yard touchdown run. The Vikings have not been the same since. You can tell by the body language of this team. They have really put a lot of blood and sweat and tears into their effort. Remember, they played, in comparison to the Storm, they've only played once in the last 40 days, and it just so happened that Noah's Ark showed up on that one day where they were playing, if you think about it. But be that as it may, even though they were off technically the last 3 weeks, the Vikings played the last 3 weeks, so that was one of the biggest keys here. How would the Storm come out mentally? We saw the slow start early, but once the second half got going, do you think the Storm kind of pretty much back to being themselves again?
They're definitely on their way. Obviously, it took first 2 quarters of play to get it rolling again, but everyone's starting to get back into the swing of things. Defense is flying around to the ball, and Jimmy Hughes finding his targets, and that's something that we see game after game.
Okay, well, right now, the Vikings have 1st and 10 for their own 20-yard line, 27-7. It's been all Lehigh Valley Storm since that Yusuf Reddick punt return for a touchdown began the Storm scoring for today. In the shotgun is Muse, and again they go 4 receivers. It is Cedric Brown to the left of Muse. Man in motion to the right-hand side, Chan Adams. He lines up as a 3rd receiver. Back goes Muse, and the pass finally caught. And this one, a big hit down about the 17-yard line. Oh, my goodness gracious. The man who was hit badly was, Justin Salazar. Phil Tucker really smacked him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, that was the first pass completed of the game, and that wide receiver probably wishes he didn't catch it. Phil Tucker was shot out of a cannon at the safety position and absolutely gave a huge blow on that wide receiver.
And I think the Storm, all their defensive players have been pretty much shot out of a cannon since the second half began. Because ever since giving up the 96-yard touchdown, they have really tightened the screws up, and they have played really, really good. Sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and I think that definition kind of holds true for what's happening here. 2nd and 12 from the 18-yard line. Another time, Adams again motion to the right. Shotgun from Muse, who takes the snap. He's going to roll to his right, looking, throws out the middle. Pass is caught to about the 25, down to the 32-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down as Anthony Brown makes the catch for a gain of 14 on the play.
That was a nice throw by Opie Muse, just stepping up in the pocket and finding his wide receiver for a big 1st down. 25 for the Lehigh Valley Storm. Phil Tucker sent another huge hit, but obviously the pass was completed for a 1st down, and a huge play for the Vikings.
And I can see that, I can feel it in the air tonight, pardon me, Phil Collins, that the temperature must have been 15 degrees cooler than we had at kickoff, because there's a pretty cool breeze coming into our booth here in South Plainfield. But I'm not sure why the Vikings are taking their time in the huddle, because they're down 3 scores. If they need to get themselves back into the game, unless they have a 68-yard play up their sleeve that they're going to use right now, they need to get themselves cooking here. So again, 4 receivers, 2 on each side. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. In motion now, Salazar goes to the right. Back goes Muse. He's looking. He's going to throw off his back foot deep on the right side and over the head of Shannon Adams. Incomplete into double coverage. Jaron Elder was in that vicinity, and so was Justin Thomas.
Yeah, great coverage by number 4, Jaron Elder there, and Justin Thomas was over the top. I feel like the play in the huddle was he was going to pass to him deep from the start, but that's the 2nd time he tried that so far in this football game, and it wasn't completed, and great job tonight by the Storm secondary.
Okay, well, 2nd and 10 now from the 32-yard line as the Storm line up on defense, and Muse again are going to try and go back to the pass. Muse again is shotgun, and next to him this time Michael Luna, who's giving Brown a little bit of a break here. Storm trying to show blitz, going to get themselves in position. Salazar in motion to the right. High snap to Muse. He's being under a rush. Throws at the middle. Pass is tapped and incomplete. It was a little bit high for Chan Adams. Thrown into double coverage. Kuzer was in there, and so was Travis King. So 3rd down now for the Vikings.
Yeah, the Storm defense overall has really buckled down since the beginning of this game as it's been going on. Carl Kreider, I feel every single game is just getting right to the quarterback, not quite getting the sack, but he's doing a great job by putting pressure on number 1 Opie Muse.
Okay, so 3rd and 10 now from the 32-yard line for the Lehigh Valley Storm. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on the audio side. Of course, those of you listening at lvstormfootball.com, courtesy of Storm Radio and Hot101.net. Hopefully you are enjoying yourselves here as the Lehigh Valley Storm right now with a 27-7 lead over the Central Jersey Vikings. So 3rd and 10 now from the 32-yard line. Muse in the shotgun. Once again, next to him, Luna to the left. 4 receivers. Salazar again in motion to the right. Monotonous, isn't it? Muse waiting for the snap. Storm show blitz. Back goes. There's a flag down. It's raining pink. And here goes their quarterback, Muse, who gets out of bounds. at basically the line of scrimmage. Let's see what the flag's all about. I would have to think it's a hold, possibly.
The right guard held number 6, Joe Davis, on the blitz. I saw it.
And I think they are pointing the flag on the Vikings. So, will the Storm accept the penalty, or is it going to be 3rd and about 20? The officials say the Storm refused the penalty, so it's going to be 4th and 10. So
punt team's coming out again. Obviously, watch for some trickery. They're not going to be caught off guard like they were before when they went for a fake punt. But it should be interesting to see what they're going to call now.
But who knows? But let me put it to you this way: who knows if I think it was Chan Adams who had dropped the ball in that 4th down fake punt? I don't know if he would have gotten the 1st down anyway. If you think about it.
Yeah, it was close. It would have been close.
So it's now going to be 4th down, and punting again is Muse. And once again, Yusuf Reddick standing about the 34-yard line. The last fake punt didn't quite work. Let's see what happens here. Good snap and a good punt. And kicking away from Reddick, but it comes right back to him at about the 30. But he slips and falls, gets back up, tries to go. He's gone the wrong way. Now you get a couple of blocks. He goes to about the 40 to midfield. Oh, not again. Oh, he tripped at the midfield stripe and went down to the 47-yard line. Oh, my goodness. It looked like he was going to go, but then he saw another guy coming, tried to make the move, and that's when he fell. And that's when basically the return ended. But Yusuf Reddick evidently is putting some miles on 287 here as the Storm will have 1st and 10 in Viking territory at the 47.
I could have sworn he was gone again there. He had one guy to beat, and he had one blocker out in front of him. And it looks like he might have made a cut the wrong way, but after falling and flying around and going back and forth, he's really been the most exciting player on the field tonight at all aspects of the game, offense and special teams.
Indeed so. But right now for the Lehigh Valley Storm, the ball be spotted at the Viking 46. So a very nice return once again, about 24 yards that time. But now they have Rob Kuzer is in the game now. He's given Mayers, he's given Ridley a break. With a Storm up 20, you can afford to do something like this. So into Pistolero is Jimmy LeHue on 1st and 10. Back he goes, rolling right looking, fakes a throw. Now he's going to run right. He better be careful. He's going to run now to the 45, and he trips and finally belly flops down to 41. More importantly, he stays in bounds for a gain of 5.
Another smart decision by LeHue, not forcing anything, not trying to fit something in that's not open. Just tuck it and run and pick up some good yards.
All right, so 2nd and 5 in the 41-yard line, and the Storm trying to melt the clock. They lead 27-7 here in the 4th quarter. Remember, they were down 7-0 on a 96-yard touchdown run by Cedric Brown in the 1st quarter. But the Storm obviously have recovered. But you have to remember, sometimes you have to face adversity in a football game in order to come out on the right side. And that's what the Storm have exactly done. 2nd and 5 in the 41. LeHue hands it off to Rob Kuzer. No, he faked it. Goes deep left side for Devon Gordon. But threw it too far to the right, incomplete. Parrish and Ortiz were the defenders there, but Devon Gordon, who has been basically unheard from today, and that ball was intended for him, just could not get it out. So they're down.
Yeah, the reason Yusuf Reddick is having a great game is because they're having 2 guys on Devon Gordon, who has 11 touchdowns on the season so far. So LeHue tried to hook up with number 84 Devon Gordon there on the bomb, something they do very well, but it just didn't work out in their favor this time.
Well, 3rd and 5 now from the 41. And LeHue again to shotgun. He's in between Rob Kuzer. And there's going to be a run for Kuzer. Look out! To the 40, to the 30. And he is brought down by the uniform strap at the 19-yard line by Terrence Brown. A gain of 22. Rob ends up being the road runner, and the Storm moved the chains.
Huge play. They did play action to Kuzer right before that, and actually the next play they came back and just gave him the ball, and there was a huge hole from the offensive line gave him, and a huge pickup for the Storm.
And it'll be 1st and 10 in the red zone again. Storm at the 19 of the Vikings. Handoff. Isaiah Green has a hole, crossing the 15 and not quitting until he goes down by like the 12-yard line when 4 Oh, wait. Oh, and now a Viking came out with a football, and he was about to bring it back, but the official blew the play dead at the 12, so a gain of 7 for Isaiah Green.
Yeah, it looked like that was obviously late on that fumble there, but it looked like Isaiah Green could have hit the hole a little bit harder there. He's kind of tiptoeing instead of hitting it like Kuzer did the play before, and he might have got a couple more yards, but still the Storm right now are moving in the right direction and going right down the field on this good Viking defense.
Indeed so. They will say it is a gain of 5. The line of scrimmage was a 16, so we'll say the 11. 2nd and 5 from the 11-yard line now as LeHue in the shotgun between split backs again, 4 receivers, 2 on each side again. LeHue with the snap, handoff Kuzer. Kuzer a halt to the 10, to the 5, and he is in! Welcome to the end zone! A cruiser and Rob Kuzer, who basically puts the cherry on top of the whipped cream and the sundae and what type of mixed drink you want. But the Lehigh Valley Storm put in their 4th touchdown, their 3rd on the ground. Their 2nd on the ground rather, and they get into the 30s yet again as they are putting this one away against the Vikings.
Zach Yankovic and the offensive line for the Storm really have played a much better second half than they did in the first half. But Kuzer, as a running back, you're taught just to hit that hole, and he shot out of a cannon there, and he got the ball, and he found the end zone. So that's awesome seeing coming from a 3rd-string running back finding the end zone here late in this football game.
And that is really big, especially for the Storm, who just did not look like themselves. They're themselves now. Now they got to keep it up for the next couple of weeks on the road in Roselle. Eppelman with the extra point, the snap, kick on its way, down the middle and good. So 34-7 right now as the Lehigh Valley Storm, they're putting the exclamation points on as well as other punctuation marks over the Central Jersey Vikings.
And just a couple sponsors for tonight's game is Blackman's Cycle Center, located 4911 Buckeye Road in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Phone number 610-965-9865. Kula Children's Center, 833 North 13th Street in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Meeting your child care needs. Philly Pretzel Factory, 809 Hamilton Street in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And Amato Family Chiropractic, 2502 in Schuensville Road, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Phone number 610-882-2400. And HSG Productions, Howard Gaber, he's the best when you're ready to take your game film to the next level.
And right now, the Lehigh Valley Storm have taken their game to the next level as the Storm lead 34-7. I think I kind of lost where we kind of left off here in this second half. So just to keep things in mind here, it all began with Raheem Ridley's 51-yard touchdown run, the first drive for the Storm in the second half. Then a 33-yard touchdown pass for LeHue to Jaleel Clark. A 10-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter for LeHue to Yusuf Reddick, with the extra point botched up, and then a 12-yard touchdown or 11-yard touchdown run for Rob Kuzer, who puts in the pay dirt here. Here's the kickoff now by Bobby Eppelman, who is it's going to be a short hopper. Ball's live and taking about the 22-yard line, where one of the Vikings just falls on it. And seeing who that was here for a second, that is number 7 Lynchwood, who happened to fall on the ball, and now the Vikings are going to try and make it respectable and try and do something to close the game, get some more points on the board.
Yeah, last possession they didn't quite finish it out and get points on the board, but they did complete a couple of passes, and that's something that they're going to try and do again right now. Maybe get a big play and try and beat number 4 Jaron Elder. I know they've been attacking him a little bit, but they're going to definitely look for a big play and end this game with respect.
Well, you have to give credit, though, to the Vikings. I mean, they played a very hard game for at least a half, and I mean, this team was really fired up for a while. And I mean, I would have not been surprised if they scored at least once, maybe twice more, and the Storm really would have had to come back. But instead, the Storm, being the team that has been on really a mission all year long, they made the adjustments very quickly, and they kind of forced the, we'll just say, they forced the the Vikings to, again, to more of a running game, and that kind of closed things off because passing hasn't really been a strength of theirs. Salazar in motion on first and 10 on a bad snap to Muse, who catches it. He's going to roll right, throw off his back shoe, and incomplete. Oh my goodness. Taking a hard hit was Anthony Brown. He was a defenseless receiver, and he got crunched by Travis King, and he's going to get flagged for unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, that was helmet to helmet. That was a great call, but it was a great throw. He obviously didn't catch it because he heard the footsteps coming by Travis King, but a solid play right there for the Vikings.
Well, and it's a head-to-head. It's a head-to-head because Anthony Brown right now, he's seeing stars and a few other things right now. He took quite a shot, and he's being kept on the ground. They're just making sure he's all right because, remember, he was a defenseless receiver on that play, and it was just a pretty vicious hit. And obviously, when you deal with a head injury, you can't fool around with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's something real important, and obviously you see everything that's going on right now in the NFL with concussions, and guys are sitting out, and guys are playing with concussions. That's the reason why it's becoming so important, and so that's something that, like you just mentioned, you have to take very seriously.
You got that right, because it just seems to me we see so many things, and condolences obviously to the families of 3 high school football players who lost their lives in separate incidents, and including a 16-year-old in Long Island who very sadly tragically passed away. And I don't remember what the circumstances were, but this is a vicious game if you think about it. Thankfully, Anthony Brown is walking off on his own power, but obviously still a little bit with birds surrounding him, so he's going to get checked out, and it will be first and 10, and they're going to penalize obviously 15 yards for the defenseless receiver hit, and they're going to spot the ball, I believe, at the 37-yard line. So what do you think was the most important thing for what the Storm did tonight in order to cause this turnaround to happen?
The most important thing that the Storm did tonight, I think it was the defense settling down after that first play. You get punched in the mouth right out of the gate, and they made any adjustments that they needed to on the sideline with the coaching staff, and just really buckled down and played their style of football.
And they solidly responded. I really believe that. First and 10 now from the 40-yard line. Here's the snap, and back goes Muse, looking, has time in the pocket, going deep on the left sideline. The pass is through the hands of an open player, incomplete, and that might have been Cedric Brown along the far sideline. That would have been a 60-yard pass if he had only caught the ball.
Open Muse actually put that exactly where it needed to be. It was slightly overthrown a little bit, but number 4 should have came down with that. They just ran a fake toss, and they caught the Storm secondary sleeping a little bit there.
All right, it'll be second and 10 from the 40-yard line. Storm leading 34-7 over the Central Jersey Vikings, a game that was won 7-0 Vikings after the Vikings' first play from scrimmage following the Storm's opening drive of the game ending at the 4-yard line of the Vikings. They turned the ball over on downs. And then Cedric Brown comes through with a 96-yard touchdown run. That, I think, might be one of the top 3 plays in Major League Football this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about the Cedric Brown run, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, he absolutely, after a huge stop by the defense, he hit the hole and he was gone. There was a huge block by the fullback, and took a 7-0 lead early.
That's quite a way to design the first of your many plays. So second and 10 from the 40-yard line. Muse under center this time. The Storm showing a little bit of a blitz, and they hand it off to Brown. Brown, not much at all. Maybe a yard to the 41-yard line. He gets brought down. We haven't called this guy all day, Sean Hill.
Joe Davis just met the fullback in the hole and absolutely crushed him. He stood over him a little bit after, but that's the type of solid defense they've been playing here in the second half. Everyone just doing their part. He forced a running back inside, and inside linebacker made the play. So they're really playing. They're playing well and playing together, which is more importantly something that they didn't do in the first half.
And that is big. It is 3rd and 9 now from the 41-yard line for the Central Jersey Vikings. Of course, this is still a very proud team. I mean, obviously, as I said to you before, they came in very, very fired up and ended up taking a 7-0 lead. But then, of course, when the Storm settled down, I think the coaching staff reminding them there was still plenty of time left in this game kind of did the trick there. But anyway, play. Muse in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side. Now you got Salazar in motion to the right. Waiting for the snap is Muse. He takes it, backs up, looking, under a rush, pocket collapses. Now he's running for his life, throws it deep right side, and it is intercepted with both feet in bounds. That is Travis King, who snags the ball out of the air, and that will pretty much settle it. I don't think we've had the 2-minute warning yet, but the Storm will get it back. They lead 34-7 over the Central Jersey Vikings.
That's a great play by this defense right here. The Carl Kreider, once again, defensive end, was just there, always putting pressure on this quarterback. And number 22, Travis King, just went up and snagged it. Another great play by the Storm defense, and a great way to capitalize on the game that they've had so far, especially in the second half of play.
And you look back at what the Lehigh Valley Storm had in the first half. 4 fumbles. They lose 2 of them. They had 2 touchdowns called back on holding penalties. They had a missed field goal. They turned the ball over on downs at the 4-yard line of the Vikings. You go back and you look at all that stuff, you're saying, how the heck are they up 34-7? That's the real head scratcher of this game. But football is a strange game, as they say sometimes, and who knows what's going on not too far away down New Brunswick between Michigan and Rutgers. But whatever the case may be, as the officials are... What are they doing?
Timeout.
They're calling a time. It looks like a timeout is being called, and I guess it's by the Vikings. But oh goodness!
Wow.
Against 2 of the lower Big Ten teams going on up the road. By the way, one of our people just showed me the score. Rutgers 19, Michigan 17. If that score holds, will they be singing "Fail, Fail, Michigan"?
Yeah.
Brady joke.
Or is it Ren Hoke? I don't know. Of Ren Stimpy fame.
It'd be a huge win for the program. Almost like Pandemonium in Piscataway. Who was that? That was versus who?
That was Louisville.
That was Louisville. That was versus
Yeah, South Florida, some years back, don't forget. I mean, they were ranked number 2, but it was a phony number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a joke if you think about it. But who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, the Lehigh Valley Storm coming back onto the field, I'm sure they're just going to try and run the clock out as they lead 34-7. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. In between split backs is like Hugh Coozer's in there. Also in there is a Daniel Wynn, and they're going to give a handoff on the right side of Coozer, who breaks a tackle, crosses the 40, and slides down to about the 41-yard line. Gets a nice gain on the play of, I believe 5 yards on the play, and at least they'll keep the clock running.
Yeah, he's a real good running back, especially to have at number 3. If it wasn't for the duo of Ridley and Mayers, he would be getting in there and getting a ton of carries. He's picking up big yards, and every time he gets his chance, he always does that.
And more importantly, I think Ridley now having to rest his shoulder after getting banged up in the first half, I'm sure that will help too with the lead that they have. Chris White now going in motion on 2nd down, taking the snap, and like you, try to keep it himself, and gets tied up. A very nice play by one of the leaders of the Vikings in the name of Gary Smith. He was able to bring him down for about a 3-yard loss. So it'll be 3rd and 8 coming up, but I don't think the Storm are really worried about that. They're just worried about chewing the clock down.
Yeah, not too worried about that. That was a nice play, not letting Jimmy Hugh get outside of him there and picking up the sack, but obviously they're just worried about closing out this game.
Indeed, it is 3rd and... Actually, it was a 5-yard loss, so back to the line of scrimmage. They go to the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 10. LeHue trying to line up everybody. Chris White now leaves the game, and they're going to line up Art Sanders on the left side and Michael Thomas in a left slot here. And now the officials blow the whistle, and I think they're going to call the 2-minute warning right here. So 2 minutes left here from South Plainfield. Lehigh Valley Storm with a 34-7 lead over the Central Jersey Vikings.
And a couple of sponsors. I know it's a little bit repetitive, but A&H Sporting Goods, Schrudy's Pub and Restaurant, 1853 Northampton Street in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Scott Family of Dealership, Scott Lott, Scott Chevrolet, Scott Mazda, and Scott Volvo. Connecticut School of Broadcasting, celebrating 50 years of excellence.
And remember to take it from us, we're CSB grads, so make sure you check them out, 800 TV Radio, or go online, go CSB.com. Okay, JJ.
State Farm Insurance, Emmaus, Pennsylvania. Ride with the #1 car insurer in Pennsylvania. Blackman Cycle Center, Buckeye Road in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. 610-965-9865.
All right, so back we are for the final 2 minutes of this one. It is 34-7. Lehigh Valley Storm over the Central Jersey Vikings following what was a very scary first half indeed. Here is Jimmy LaHue in a shotgun. 4 receivers again, actually. Back goes LaHue. He's back. He's in trouble, and he needs to escape. He's able to for a moment, and then he gets to another one. He's got to throw a Hail Mary, takes a hard shot way down the field, and the pass ends up being intercepted. That's okay, though. And then losing the ball to the hands of Art Sanders. Holy mackerel! And he takes it to the 20-yard line. The pass was intercepted by Shannon Adams. He ends up fumbling the ball into the hands of Art Sanders. That is the most unbelievable 55-yard change of possession that I have seen in a game that has already been decided.
I mean, I'm speechless. I actually missed what happened over here. I was looking at LaHue. He absolutely got creamed on that play.
And no flag was thrown, believe it or not.
Wow.
Shall we? I mean, we're getting into the world of the sublime and the unusual here. But I'll tell you something. Like you was throwing a Hail Mary full of grace, thinking he was down 27-21, hoping for a Colorado-Michigan a la Cordell Stewart. But it ends up being intercepted, and then all of a sudden, Adams can't hang on to the ball. It pops into Art Sanders. I was like, oh, thank you. And he takes off for another few yards. And at a Storm, have it in the red zone at the 20-yard line, and I'm sure they're just going to try and run this thing out before anything else bizarre happens.
I think so.
They hand it to Kuzer. Kuzer crashes about the 18-yard line. That's all he's going to get. A gain of 2 on the play, brought down by Alden Foster. We haven't called him much, but he's had a halfway decent game. You also have to give credit. I mean, the 2 defensive guys, Gary Smith and Parker Canty, they really have had very nice games on the defense, and you know they're going to be back before too long.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very good Central Jersey Viking football team. Obviously, they showed a little bit of spark that they had in the first half, but you can just tell they have a bunch of players and heart. This isn't the end of this team for sure.
That's true. Second and about 8, and here is LaHue slipping out of a tackle, has room to go to the 15, and that's about it. I think LaHue is going to try and score a rushing touchdown for a 5th straight game. I don't think he will get that wish, but he is getting the wish of running the clock down to probably about a minute left.
Yeah, this is interesting that the coaching staff is calling these plays right now. Your star quarterback.
Yeah. And I think, they said that's all. I think we bring out the merrily we go along and say, that's all, folks. Translation, and that will do it. Another Lehigh Valley Storm win. And I'll tell you what, it was scary at the beginning, but in the end, the Storm were able to get themselves back together despite only 1 game in 40 days. They were able to win this one 34-7 over the Central Jersey Vikings here in South Plainfield tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say this is kind of what I expected. On my Thursday show, I said 34-10. So this is something that I almost saw coming with the talent of the Storm in the second half of this football game.
Indeed, so. But and I think what they're going to do before they do the handshakes is the play for Corey Martinez. For those of you who are new to the broadcast, Corey Martinez, of course, is the player who wears number 88 for the Storm and has cerebral palsy, but what they do is they make sure that he gets a play where he does score a touchdown, and they do that for each game, whether the Storm win or lose. But before they actually do the play, the Storm end up improving to 7-1, while the Vikings fall to 3-5. And we'll recap everything on the game momentarily. But what do you feel was the turning point of this one?
The turning point of this game, I think, was for the first possession that the defense made the stop in second half, and then the offense came down and went right down the field with that Raheem Ridley touchdown, just pretty much saying we're here in the second half, and this is the real Storm.
And I think they really did see that. And I think right now they're doing it as Corey Martinez is now taking the ball. And our hope is he doesn't spike it at the 5-yard line like he did about a month ago. But he's going to go by himself. And they're going to try and help him stay in. He's going to go for the corner of the end zone pylon today. And as he nearly crashes into one of the camera people, he walks into the end zone. So that play works successfully as usual. And that's the brotherhood of football. No matter who wins or loses, everyone plays together. And they realize when everyone comes out relatively healthy, regardless of what the score, you see people like that, that's where we have all the fun that comes in. That's where the spirit of football takes place.
And that's the exact way how a football game should end. You guys go out there and try and kill each other for
too permanent
for 60 minutes of the football game, and then that's how it should end on a Corey Martinez touchdown. And the fact that the Vikings got all excited about it is something that I've actually just noticed now, but I haven't seen a lot of other
class
teams doing
organization.
it.
Class organization,
class
absolutely,
organization, absolutely,
no question about it. Well, here's a tougher question. Who's your MVP for tonight's game?
Yusuf Reddick.
You know what? I'd say co-MVPs. Reddick was the one that returned that punt off of an elder deflection, 70 yards for a touchdown. But I also got to give it to Raheem Ridley. I know he had a tough day fumbling the ball, but coming off, hurting his shoulder in the first half, and responding with a 51-yard touchdown run to give the Storm the lead for good, I'd say co-MVPs right there.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely gets a tough man award, too. It looked like he was real shaken up when he did go down and get injured, but the fact that he came back in and had that huge touchdown run shows a lot of heart from him, and you are right. Raheem Ridley, number 29, did have a great game tonight.
Indeed so. And even though, as I said to you a few minutes ago, if you looked at the scoreboard, you look at the score sheet and see in the first half, the Storm fumbled the ball 4 times, lost it twice, had 2 touchdowns called back on holding penalties, had a missed field goal, turned the ball over on downs, gave up a 96-yard touchdown run all in the first half, and you'd think they'd be winning this game 34-7? I'd say take me to the nearest bar and buy me a drink.
Yeah, I mean, this Viking football team in the first half, compared to the second half, was kind of deflated, but you know that they're a real good football team, and like we just said short time ago, that they will be back, and this isn't the end that you've heard of them. But something that I do want to say is the Storm defense really did buckle down after as the game progressed.
And one other crazy shot I forgot to mention, Noelle, who's up near Milford, Pennsylvania, actually I heard was listening to the game too, so crazy shots to her, and hopefully enjoyed this one. I mean, obviously, once again, the final score may not have been super close, but to put it this way, the Lehigh Valley Storm, they've won their 4th straight. They're now 7-1. The Vikings are now 3-5. 1 down, 2 to go on the road. As remember, the next 2 weeks, the Storm are in Roselle, New Jersey, and of course they'll be playing the New Jersey Longhorns next week, and then 2 weeks from now, the New Jersey Bravehearts. Oh boy, it's not going to get any easier. You got to think about it this way. The next time they come home, if there's a playoff game at home, guess what? It'll be since August, it'll be November till they get a home game. You think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that is wild, but the goal is to get home field advantage throughout. So you have to travel a little bit on the road to get there. So that's what they're going to try and do, and they did what they had to do tonight.
They absolutely did. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Just a quick recap as to how everything went in this game. It all began with Cedric Brown with a 96-yard touchdown run for the Central Jersey Vikings. That gave him a 7-0 lead on the Storm. First play from scrimmage after the Storm turned the ball over on downs. But then, one of the key turning points, when Jared Alder deflected the ball to Yusuf Reddick, going full speed on a punt return for a 70-yard touchdown score. Even though Eppleman missed a 33-yard field goal to end the half, it was still 7-7. The turning point, of course, after Raheem Ridley injured his shoulder in the first half, he comes back in the second second half, 51-yard touchdown run, makes it 14-7. Then Jimmy LeHue, 2 more touchdown passes. One goes to Jaleel Clark for 29 yards, and then one to Yusuf Reck in the fourth quarter for 10 yards. And then it was Rob Kuzer for an 11-yard touchdown scamper. Of course, the Reddick touchdown had the extra point miss, and that's how we ended at 34-7. So, shall we say satisfactory finish, or is there more work to be done? Or is that a dumb question?
They definitely should be satisfied. The way they came out in the second half, they said they ran the ball well, they threw the ball well, they played great on defense. They had a big interception to seal the deal. So you can't. I would look at this as a great win.
Indeed so. Well, we're going to go ahead and close things out as, again, the Storm, 7-1 a year. Next week, they'll be taking on the New Jersey Longhorns from Roselle, New Jersey. Game time scheduled for 7 o'clock into p.m. If you can't make it to Roselle, make sure you check us out and go to lvstormfootball.com and click on Storm Radio. Of course, we want to thank the folks at Hot101.net and the folks behind the scenes there that are helping us with this broadcast. And, of course, to Howard Gaber and his HSG Productions crew. Remember, HSG Productions, when you're ready to take your game film to the next level. Now, we need to take our audio to the next level because I know we were a little bit rusty today, but hey, we got through it. And of course, to all the sponsors of Storm Football, we're very happy to have you, and thank you very much, as always, for your support. And don't forget, if you can't make it to Roselle, just go to lvstormfootball.com, click Storm Radio. You'll be able to listen to the audio of the contest here. So that shall wrap things up here from South Plainfield, New Jersey. For James Josephson and the entire Lehigh Valley Storm crew, as well as for the Storm staff, and of course Steve, the owner, it's a crazy one. Tom Wilkins signing off for now. Your final score once again from South Plainfield: the Lehigh Valley Storm 34, the Central Jersey Vikings 7. We'll talk to you next week from Roselle, New Jersey, when the Storm play the New Jersey Longhorns. Have yourself a good night, everybody, and the rest of the weekend. And of course, we thank you as always for your support of Lehigh Valley Storm football. This has been a production of this. I kind of screwed up the ending anyway, but this has been a presentation of Lehigh Valley Storm football in conjunction with Major League Football.
Good.